Hey y'all, it's John aka Whisky and Sam for another episode of Boilermaker Mondays. So this night, tonight, I'm actually gonna attempt to do something a bit more contrast. And what I mean by contrast, something really out there, something just crazy different. So something that I usually wouldn't do. And I'm looking along the lines of sweet and savory with a bit of a warped twist to it, something funky. So, and what better way to do that than getting your hands on a can of tubed meat from a wall. Now, anyone with half a brain would read that and go, I'm not going to be drinking that. That sounds like something I should be carving off with a fork and knife. That's my first instinct. But a twisted part of me was looking at that on the shelf and just thinking, yeah, curiosity's got the better of me. I have to try it. Because why not? And then I read the back label of this thing. It is a white chocolate cream puff barley wine. White chocolate cream puff barley wine. Already I'm going to be in for a journey. So now this is a beer from the Netherlands. So it is, forgive me if I say this wrong, and I'm pretty positive I'm going to stuff this up royally. De Moersleutel. Anyway, these guys are based in Netherlands, and they done a collab with Central Waters Brewing. And I'm pretty sure I got this bad boy from Purvis Beer. I think I did. I think I got this from Purvis Beer. But yeah, most craft brewery joints should be able to provide this, whether it be like as far as my contacts, Carnegie Cellars, Purvis Beer in Richmond, or couple of other places. You won't find this at Dan Murphy's, obviously. But anyway, I'm going to pour this and let it do its thing. And I've got a whiskey there on the side. Wow, this looks trippy just coming out of the can. Recently I've started, dabbling into my barley wines. So I'm going to be doing a couple more of those. Some real funky, a real funky Boilermaker I'll be doing will include a hybrid Imperial Stout / barley wine. How does that work? You'll find out in the next Boilermaker episode. But anyway, so that's okay. So there's no Guinness head or Guinness style head that I usually see on the craft beers. So this one should be interesting. All right. Well, it means that I've got no time to muck around with it and just get straight into it. So, yeah, that's got that sweet element. It's got a sweet element to it. It's got a very sweet nose onto it. Very fruity nose. Oh, what an experience that is. That is rich. Actually, the finish on that is pretty damn good. It's pretty, like, it's got like a real sweet, almost confectionery style, like, it's still there in the back of your palate. That's pretty cool. The ABV on this is about 10% as well. I think, yeah, like there's a lot of vanilla drive on this as well. So, it's very, how can I describe it? It wants to be sweet, kind of syrupy, but it's not. It's sweet, creamy, and it tries to fight between the two. That's probably the most. That is probably the most easiest way that I can break that one down in layman's terms. So sweet, yeah. It's not. Put it this way: the one can is enough. I don't see myself going through a slab of this stuff because I'll be a dead man just out of sweet sickness. It is very rich, so it's it's like it's got like a burnt real burnt toffee kind of hint to it. Yeah, there is an element. It is quite creamy as well. So that I think might actually work in a weird kind of way with what I'm thinking to pair it back with. So this is a independent bottler, North Star, for those of you that don't know it, from Scotland. And this is a Glenturret 8-year-old bottling that they've done. One of 330 bottles at 58.3%. Now this is quite the savoury whiskey. So now I love my Glenturret. I've got a very big sweet spot for Glenturret Distillery. And the reason why I got into my Glenturret was due to, once again, the Whisky Club. Thank you. Mad props. One of the first whiskies that I got from them was their peated edition. Now, the peated edition whiskey that they come out with sold me on their distillery profile. Now, and then I started doing my research on Glenturret as a whole. Turns out they can be arguably one of the earliest distillers in Scotland, registered, because I think, if my memory serves me correctly, they went under the name of the Hosh, and that was back in 1775. And then they ended up changing their name down the track to Glenturret. But I think Glenturret is the earliest registered distillery in Scotland. Some could argue it's Bowmore, some could argue otherwise. Anyway, I love the history that goes back with it, and in that cabinet over there, there's I've got quite a fair bit of memorabilia from the distillery, like in the earlier days. Whether it be the serving plates or whether it be not just glasses, but like quite a fair bit of pottery as well, like their decanters that they had, little measuring cups, and just a whole heap of stuff. Hot toddy mugs. Anything that's got to do with Glenturret, I'm pretty sure I've got a necktie in there somewhere from the distillery. Whole heap of stuff. Really fascinated with Glenturret and their history. So, but anyway, so whenever a Glenturret bottling comes along, I tend to steer myself straight into that direction and suss it right out. Now, let's see where this journey takes us. So, yeah, it's sweet and salty on the nose. Heaps of it's very malt driven as well on the nose. If my memory serves me correctly, I'm pretty sure this is ex-bourbon. Yeah. Yep, refill hogshead. And it's quite nutty, very there's a buttery element that's there, and then you get that Band-Aid note. And the only time I got that note was when I was in drinking the Dark Valley solicitor's robe. It's like we get into like salted peanuts now, like salted roasted roasted salty peanuts. That's what I'm getting on the nose. A lot more of it now. All right. Anyway, I'll throw some on the palate and then let it do its thing with my senses, and I'll get a bit more out of it and then see what way we're going to go with beer first or whiskey first. That is so oily. Reminds me of a very yeasty Vegemite. For those of you that aren't Australian, that may have heard of what Vegemite is, it's basically it is yeast extract, which has been turned into a sandwich spread. We call it Vegemite, and it's loaded with vitamin B. So it's actually one that's pretty solid if you've got like a cold or something, and or like you're congested and whatever, or if you've just got low immunities, you have that spread on some toast, and it's actually really good. Very, very strong flavored. So, because it is concentrated yeast extract, so and it's got a very savory note to it. It looks, when you look at them in the jars, it looks like it's Nutella, but you pick it up and it's actually Vegemite, which is iconic with Australians. And if my memory serves me correctly, I'm pretty sure the leftover yeast or whatever that's left over at the bottom of the mash at the Carlton and United Brews, which is where my father used to work back in the day, that would go to craft for them to make Vegemite. So it's got that beer element on it already. All right, so now still got the roasted peanuts, but I've got that Vegemite on the nose now. So it's got a very, it's a Highland whiskey, but it's got like a coastal element to it. It's really weird. Like it is briny, but it's not Isla kind of briny. It's got like the brine element that you get like from way up north in the Highlands. Some citrus, like a very like almost like grapefruit, is probably an element that I'm also getting on this. And this will just keep on opening up. Like I could sit here for half an hour or so just nosing this thing, and it's going to keep doing funky tricks. But anyway, I'm here to put this back with this beer. Let's see what she does. I actually am gonna go whiskey first, and then soothe, because I am looking for contrast here. So let's see what happens with whiskey. Whiskey wash, beer rinse. And now I get that menthol, like that, yeah, that menthol flavor as well, and heaps of tobacco leaf. Heaps of tobacco leaf. All right. Well, let's see what this does. That is a very, that just completely overpowers that. Completely overpowers it. That is such a strong beer. Such a strong beer. I'd almost be. I'm going to go the other way around and do the beer wash and see if the whiskey rinse will help the Boilermaker any further. Otherwise, if not, I'm going to pull out some. I got some stuff here that just might work. Yeah, I might get into that now actually. So I'll rinse the pellet a bit. All right, so beer wash, whiskey rinse, and it actually reminds me of a particular lolly that I used to have in the past, but it's not coming to my mind. That's gonna eat me tonight, and I'm hoping that I can that it can come back to my memory. It's like, actually, Yeah. I need to seal that some more. It'll come to me. And when it does, I'm going to put that in the notes on the YouTube channel. All right, we've done the wash. Let's do the rinse and see what this does. All right, what that's done is it's, yeah, right. That's got mad tobacco notes coming through now on the front of the palate. But that is such a killer beer. Like, not in a bad way. It's that needs another different beast, I reckon. Not saying that I'm let down by the Glenturret. That's still a killer dram. I love this stuff, and I'm going to happily enjoy that later on. I think what you need is a bit of Octomore. So what I'm going to do is, I was given, or I've got a plethora of samples here. I'm going to go with an 8.1. No, let's try the 8.4. Yep. All right, so I'm going to go the 8.4. So Octomore 8.4 sample that I've got given here. Now this comes in at 58.7%. So that's 0.4 more than that. But everybody knows what the go is with Octomore. Bruichladdich smoke monsters. Heavily, heavily, heavily peated is an understatement. Right, so awesome. I get nappies straight on the nose. Love it. Yeah, no shit. I'm actually getting nappies. No, I get loads of fruit. Loads of fruit, and in comes. And now there's no smoke on the nose, which is the funny part. No smoke on the nose at all. So I do get crisp fruit, very crisp fruit, and a little bit of citrus. I do get my spice. There's that layer of malt that runs through it as well, which is kind of a Bruichladdich signature that they have, which is why we love them. Almost smells perfumed. This is actually a really nice nose. All right, I'm gonna, knowing what Octomores are like, I'm gonna do a whiskey wash and then do the beer rinse and see what that does. Oh, my taste buds wanted to dance just then. They were dancing. There's that smoke. Heaps more malt drive there. The peak comes through. It's there. It says, howdy. And still wants to engage in conversation with you. The finish is just phenomenal on this thing. All right. Well, whilst the finish is dancing, let's see how this bad boy goes. All right. All of a sudden, that's not so sweet anymore. It's still rich and sweet. Almost syrupy now, but with a butter menthol kind of element to it. That's what I'm getting on the palate after this. So, what I might do is, And I can still, the Octomore finish is still there in the background, just doing its thing. Love the stuff. It's like smoky butter menthol now. That's what I'm getting. Smoky butter menthol. Yep, that's. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. So let's revisit that now with the beer wash. Let's do whiskey rinse and see what happens on that end. Now I'm really curious about it. Yeah. All of a sudden, it's not so sweet. Bruichladdich, Octomore Pete really, really tamed it. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh man, what a beast! What an absolute beast! Yeah, that's now a lot more oak driven. Um, yeah, heaps of oak. Now I'm just getting campfire, loads of campfire. A little bit of a briny element, but this is really trying to push forward. Now this is has got to be one of the richest beers I've ever consumed, and not in a bad way. It's just it's a lot of beer, a lot's happening with it. So to tame that and to have to tame it with an Octomore is saying one thing because the Octomore 8 series were that was the beast era, especially the infamous or the famous, I should say, 8.3, which was the world's heavily peated whiskey, heavily peatiest whiskey at 309 phenol parts per million, I believe, um, and that's stupid, like just crazy. Brooklyn was just like, let's see how much peat we can put into this thing, and they come out with that, crazy figure. I think the rest of the range, like the 8.1, the 8.2, 8.4, were around the 167 mark. Their latest releases are like 88 and like 90, but it's under 100 parts per million. To put things into perspective, Ardbeg, I think, is at 50 parts per million. Lafroig is also, I think, I think that's around the 40, maybe 50. Um, but yeah, like it's never anything over say 55, parts per million. So, and Ardbeg is a really smoky, peaty whiskey. Ardbeg will probably actually go really well with this. Maybe an Ardbeg 10, um, or even a Corriverecken actually would probably go epic with this, which I don't have. You know what? I actually do have Wee Beastie, which is their 5-year old release that they just recently come out with. That I reckon would be pretty cool with this. But the complexity of the Octomore is really working magic with this tubed meat from a wall. So I'm going to say that this one was more the winner. And that's, but either way, that's not a bad thing. It just means I've really got to take my time with the Glenturret. And if I still smell, or if I still taste peat on the Glenturret, well, my dad's going to enjoy that dram, or I'm just going to have a smoky or another version of a peated Glenturret dram. Either way, all right, so tonight's special was the Octomore 8.4. No, 8.1. Yep, 8.4. My bad, far out. It's been a long day. 8.4 Octomore and tubed meat from a wall. What could go wrong? Thank you very much for your attention for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you around for another episode on next Monday night. And I will be, I'll be doing something completely different again. So I'll really change it up. So it should be another fun episode for you guys and girls to watch. And like I said, keep the suggestions and feedback coming. Like, share, subscribe, support. Instagram, follow me as Whiskey and Sounds, and Bearded Whiskey Drinker on Facebook, and the YouTube channel is Whiskey and Sound also. So, you know the drill. Follow me onto next Monday night's episode, and please keep the feedback coming through. Anyway, have a good night. I'll catch you next Monday night.